Here we have the outside of the 2015 Elddis Majestic 275. If we move along, we will firstly come to the flue for the Aldi boiler for the heating and hot water system. We do not need to do anything with these particular ones. There's no covers or anything that need to come off. Just make sure that nothing is obstructing it. Next we have the gas locker. So in the gas locker we have space for 2 gas bottles. This particular motorhome runs what's known as a Truma drive safe system, so it has crash valves on it, which means you do not need to turn your gas bottles off if you do not wish. Basically, once I finish this demonstration video, I will fit the correct hose. But firstly, you will see that the regulator itself sits here, and then the hose comes off the regulator and then is screwed into the propane bottle and is tightened with a gas spanner. Bottle on and off on the top. The difference with this particular hose is that it has a valve just here with this little black button on. So once this is actually fitted to the regulator and then screwed into the gas bottle, the only difference we need to do is turn the bottle on and then hold this button in for about 3-4 seconds. This will then allow the gas into the van. What would happen if this hose got severed in any shape or form? This valve here will recognise the sudden drop in gas pressure and cut the gas off instantly just here. Also on the regulator itself, you will see there is another crash valve just here, and in the event of any of these gas pipes being severed, this valve here will automatically recognise the sudden drop in gas pressure and again cut the gas off. Occasionally these crash valves can be triggered also by going over a bump quite sharply, so if you've turned your gas on, pressed in your black button and you still have no gas coming into the van, come back to this little green button here and again hold it in for about 3 or 4 seconds, and this will then allow the gas into the van. Beneath the gas locker we have the grey water drain, so anything that goes down your plug holes goes into the holding tank and then is drained off at this point just here. As we then come round to the rear, we have the reverse camera just up here, and then the rails if you ever wanted to add a bike rack. As we then come round, we have the location of the Thetford toilet cassette to remove, lift up, pull out, remove the cap and add your toilet chemical with a small amount of water. These also empty from this point just here as well. Just remember that when you pour away, that you hold the button in just here to release the vacuum inside. It is also advisable to keep these seals lubricated. Thetford do their own seal lubricant, but any silicone based lubricant is fine. And this is also a nice quick and easy way of giving the cassette a clean. If you want to give it a deeper clean, or if any debris gets wrapped up around the float mechanism inside giving you a false reading, you can twist this whole section round. You'll see this arrow is at this point here. This arrow needs to be here, and then you can remove the whole part. All of these cassettes now are on wheels with extendable handles. The spare wheel is located under the van just here, and you'll see, if I can just get in a little bit more, where my finger is, basically here, there's a hole, and in the jack and wheel brace kit there's a bar, and the brace attaches to that bar, and then you can wind the wheel down. We then have the vents for the Dometic fridge freezer. You are supplied with winter covers So if you are using the van in extremely cold climate, you can pop these covers on. They hook in at the top, and then with a flat-headed screwdriver or the ignition key, twist and twist to lock it into place, and you will then see that the fridge will only vent from the lower part here, thus holding some heat in and running efficiently. If these are left on in the warm months, obviously the fridge will overheat and again not run. Next we have main supply into the van, and beside this we have fresh water fill. Push in, twist, give it a bit of a wiggle, pop your hose pipe in to fill the fresh tank up. You will also see that it can be locked. Beneath it we have the drain tap for the fresh water tank. We then have access underneath the bench seat, and you can see the surge dampener just there. Diesel fill just here. Cap unlocks on the ignition key. Above we have the Proster roll-out canopy. Tyre pressures on your door pillar. Jack and wheel brace underneath the passenger seat in its own toolbox. Vehicle battery underneath the floor just here. Bonnet release just here. The motorhome is alarmed, and it's all armed on and off on the ignition key. So if we now lock the motorhome, we will get a single chirp letting us know that the van is armed and locked. And if we press it, the unlock button, we will then get a double chirp letting us know that the van is disarmed and the alarm is deactivated. What we can also do is put the alarm in what's known as pet friendly mode. So the alarm is deactivated on the inside but active on the outside. If we now press the lock button twice, once, twice, you get a high-pitched chirp letting you know that you're now in pet friendly mode. As soon as you unlock again, it will then deactivate and go back into factory. If whenever you lock the door, if I now leave a door slightly on ajar, you get multiple chirps, it's just letting you know that a door is not shut correctly. So just go round the motorhome and make sure everything is secure. You also do have a pressure switch underneath the bonnet, so do make sure that the bonnet is also firmly closed.